Hi, I'm Jim Setzer with Images by Design, and today we're going to test out Godox's brand new studio strobe, the AD600 Pro. Let's take a look at the display and the controls of the AD600 Pro. The first thing I noticed was the LCD display has a much higher resolution. That makes all the icons look a little bit nicer, and the group letter is much larger, so you can see that from across the room. The group channel button works exactly the same as before. The mode button cycles between manual TTL and stroboscopic mode, same as before. The radio button now only changes between radio and optical slave if you have that enabled. Let's take a look at the menus and see what new features we have. First one that comes up at the top of the menu is this consistent color mode. If you turn this on, supposedly keeps the color value from shot to shot within 75 Kelvin. That really puts this thing on par, actually slightly better than like a Broncolor or a Pro Photo. So I'm anxious to take some test shots in that and see if I see the consistency that they claim. Slave mode works exactly the same as before. Here you can set the modeling light to either continuous, just like the original AD600, where the modeling light, if it's on, stays on while the primary bulb flashes. Or put it in intermittent mode, meaning before the primary flashes, the modeling light turns off, the primary bulb flashes, and then the modeling light comes back on again. That's great if you're working with that color consistent mode. Standby works the same, light works the same, delay works the same, units, alt work the same. Change the LCD contrast, same as before. And here's something new, relatively new for X1 radio components, and that's this electronic ID number. So all the signals will have this matching ID number. You can set the ID of the light or a group of lights to match a particular trigger. They'll ignore any signals from any other trigger that doesn't match that ID number. That's a better way of isolating signals when you're in a situation where you've got multiple triggers, multiple lights, and you want to isolate them. If you've got older units, just set this to off, and you can still use the channel select to frequency separate those signals. Test light works exactly the same as before. Where they've moved the power button down to the belly, they've got a space here that they used, and they put a dedicated chime on and off button. That's great for wedding shooters or anybody that needs to be able to quickly turn the ready chime on or off. And then the modeling light works very differently. In the original AD600, the modeling light button cycled between 4 modes: off, low, medium, and high, and then back to off again. Here you've got off, you've got percent, and if you press and hold the percent value, or press and hold the modeling light number, you can scroll through and set the modeling light for anything from 10% all the way back up to 100%. Really nice and granular. And then the third mode is proportional. And what it's going to do is set the modeling light proportional to the output power. So here at 1/256th power, the modeling light is down at 10%. And as I raise the power of the strobe, the modeling light brightness goes all the way up to 100%. So it allows it to automatically adjust the modeling light to your power levels, and that way you're going to get modeling lights that are going to be better, indicative of what the overall, say, key to fill light ratio is going to be like. Wanted to point out one other change that came with the new battery. That has to do with the way it mounts. The original AD600 had a metal plate here and a metal plate here and some slider clips, and really, really rugged. I never had any kind of problem with it. And I'm not saying I'm going to have any problem with this new design with these steel pins, but they slide into a plastic plate. A little bit different design. Will that be a problem? I'm not sure. Just me kind of pointing out a difference. It looks like they've got really strong screws at every one of the stress points in these keyhole slots. So it should be fine. Just pointing that out. They very much improved the mount from the original AD600 plastic ratchet design. It's got this nice friction clutch. I didn't have any trouble mounting a very large, very heavy modifier on this, being able to torque that down a little bit, and keeping that 5-foot octabox from moving around, sliding, or dropping, or drooping. I wanted to show you a closer look at the new mount. Again, this is all cast aluminum here, cast aluminum arm. It looks like the cast aluminum goes up and connects with the cast aluminum ring. So even for large, heavy modifiers, this is going to be a much more rugged design. Not sure why they put this second perpendicular hole here. The problem I've had with it is because they did this, the hole for the baby pin, the top of it is rounded because of this intersecting hole. So if I don't have that screwed down, this kind of just floats in there like that. Now you tighten it up and it's fine, but I don't know, it's something different. They kept the umbrella hole here on the side. It's no longer a screw down type, it's just got the little metal tab in there. And so if you mount an umbrella, the wind picks up, in theory it'll pull the umbrella off and it won't pull over your expensive light and smash a tube or something. So all in all, I really like this improved design. I decided to perform a number of tests, check out some of the new features and compare it a little bit against the original AD600. The first test was a color test. I ran a number of shots with the color mode turned on and off to see if I got more consistent color shot to shot to shot. Next, a speed test. I wanted to see if the strobe could keep up with a relatively fast modern camera. Now, the D750 doesn't have the fastest frame rate in the world, but 6.5 frames per second is pretty respectable. So I wanted to see just how much power I could get out of this thing and keep up with the D750. Next, I wanted to compare the power output of the new AD600 Pro against the original AD600. So I put them side by side, identical distance to target, modifiers, everything the same. Shot them both, got a series of images out of it. So I'll bring those images into Lightroom and let's see how they compare. Now the rumors were that this redesigned area here was going to bring the flash tube further up into the modifier, making it a lot more efficient, less light loss down inside the collar of the modifier. But I'm looking at these side by side and that looks like it's pretty much exactly the same distance from the base of the mount to the center of the flash tube. So while there may be more efficiency in the flash tube itself, mechanically you're not going to see the improvement that people were claiming. So that's my first look at the new AD600 Pro Studio strobe. I hope Godox can address the low power output. It's slight, but it's there. Between that and the original AD600, I was hoping for actually a little bit better efficiency, but the improvements in the modeling light, the improvements in the base, the improvements in the battery or changes in the battery make this a really nice option. Again, it shoots way above its price point, on par, even better than the best in the industry. So I really like this product so far. Again, this is a pre-production unit, so your actual production version may differ a little bit, and I'll do a follow-up if I get my hands on a production copy. If you enjoyed this video, found it informative, please like, subscribe down below. For Images by Design, I'm Jim Setzer.